John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum is directed by Chad Stahelski and is the third installment of the John Wick franchise. The story is a direct continuation from the second film where the protagonist, John Wick, breaks one of the laws, killing in the Continental grounds. This declares John Wick as excommunicado, making him a wanted man. Every bounty killer tries to track him down where he becomes valued at $40 million. The movie primarily focuses on John Wick and how he has to terminate everyone who comes for his head. Although the action sequences are the center of attention throughout the movie franchise, the music is one of the main catalysts for not only creating the mood of the film, but also adding depth to the protagonist, John Wick. The 22 scores from the film vary in genres of music from electronically created music to classical music as well as various sound effects, which aim to portray the mind of the most wanted man in New York. Most of the action sequences in the film utilize no sound effect or music. These scenes do not emphasize any of the key aspects of sound, such as pitch, rhythm, or tempo, making the sound from the fight scenes the primary focus. This also takes place in the action movie The Equalizer. Similar to John Wick, the protagonist Robert McCall wants to carry out a peaceful life, escaping from the past of living as a hitman. However, he has to give that up for justice. Similar to John Wick 3, no music or sound effects are utilized in these fight scenes. This creates the notion that the characters are pure killers, showing that they have no sympathy and inhumane characteristics. In essence, it shows that while in combat, their mind is strictly focused on eliminating the target and nothing else. Case of John Wick making him a human Parabellum. Though not used often in action movies, one scene in John Wick 3 makes use of diegetic classical music, where 4 different violins dictate the rhythm of the entire track. The music utilizes a form containing 3 movements of tempo in the order of fast, slow, fast. As the song progresses, the pitch and the volume gradually increases, indicating that something of mass proportion is about to take place. This perfectly captures the anxiety, tension, and the thoughts of uncertainty going through John Wick's mind. While John Wick was a former hitman with great skill, he is clearly outnumbered in this scene, ultimately placing him in the situation of preparing both mentally and physically for what's to come next. Classical music is also heavily used throughout the movie Joker, most specifically in the bathroom scene which takes place after Arthur Fleck kills 3 men on the train. However, the classical music in the Joker is non-diegetic, which utilizes the cello rather than the violin, making the track much slower, creating a calm yet psychological challenging tone. Similar to John Wick 3, the style of music perfectly captures the thoughts going through Arthur Fleck, giving him a sense of dignity and self-worth for standing up against people who can't accept him for who he really is.
Mr. Wick,
in one of the last scenes of the film,
to meet you.
John Wick is given a chance to redeem himself to the table by killing his target,
Have you decided
the
to
owner
step
of the
down?
Continental grounds, who also happens to be his longtime friend.
I think not.
John Wick realizes that he can't kill his friend.
And you?
Instead, he
Will
decides
you be putting
not
a
to.
bullet in his head?
Non-diegetic form of music is utilized in this scene. The music is not only electronically produced, but the rhythm is adjusted to harmonize the body, mind, and emotions of the character. A similar technique is used in the movie Taken, where the protagonist, Brian Mills, realizes that he has to go back to his ways of inflicting violence to save his beloved daughter from the kidnappers. Like John Wick 3, Taken lowers the volume of the music to the point where the dialogue becomes the primary focus of the scene. The sci-fi pop culture phenomenon, Matrix also makes use of non-diegetic element music to emphasize the mind of the protagonist. However, the movie decides to make use of choral music instead of electronic music. In addition, the volume of the music is amplified to the point where it becomes the focal point of the scene, but also serves as a form of mental subjectivity. In the finale, the protagonist Neo realizes that the rumors were true about him, being the one to stop the computer-constructed system known as the Matrix and bring humanity back on its feet. All in all, the 3 films make use of non-diegetic music to invoke the same thoughts of self-realization within the protagonist, which not only presents the changes in the minds of the protagonists, but also shows character development.